In 2025, data shows a massive migration of capital. People are turning their backs on Silicon Valley dreams, pouring into local, physical services. Instead of chasing venture capital for the next disruptive app, buyers are looking at cleaning services, vending routes, and laundromats. This table breaks down exactly why this pivot is happening. Look at the failure rates and revenue predictability. More than 20% of private sector businesses fail in their first year. But local operations like plumbing or property maintenance survive because they solve immediate physical problems that people cannot defer, even in a recession. You do not need to invent a market for clean clothes or a working toilet. Startups burn millions trying to convince consumers they have a problem. Service businesses show up to fix a problem the customer already knows they have, completely removing the need for constant marketing hype. With high profit margins and recurring revenue built into service contracts, these models offer a stable financial floor. But a dangerous narrative has taken over the internet, twisting that stability into a false promise of effortless wealth. Open your social feeds and you will see the pitch. Buy a local business, automate it, and manage it from a laptop on a beach while the cash rolls in. Ownership requires constant, hands-on oversight of people, broken equipment, and local logistics. In a physical business, your daily reality is defined by tangible friction, not digital dashboards. Consider a self-storage facility. You have to deal with property maintenance, weather damage, security system failures, and physical tenant issues. Beyond the physical upkeep, there are legal barriers. Many of these trades require occupational licenses, strict local compliance, and regulatory approvals before you can collect a single dollar. Evaluating a traditional business means stripping away the online hype. You have to accurately measure the severe operational friction against the actual cash flow it produces. Getting started is rarely as simple as filing an LLC. In states like Hawaii or California, you face some of the tightest occupational licensing laws in the country. This chart plots businesses by regulatory barriers versus ongoing effort. To legally operate, states require hundreds of hours of education, exams, and fees. Professions like cosmetology land right here in the high-barrier, high-effort quadrant. In places like Iowa, a cosmetology license takes 16 months of education. Because states rarely honor each other's licenses, you are tied to that specific geographic market, significantly delaying your timeline to profitability. But those exact same hurdles work to your advantage once you are established. Licensing causes extreme initial friction, but it legally blocks cheap, low-effort competitors from flooding your local market. It builds a protective wall around your revenue. You can skip the grueling startup phase by acquiring an existing operation from a retiring owner. You step right into cash flow. This scorecard shows the difference between pricing and valuing. Pricing slaps a multiple on past earnings. Valuation calculates the present value of future free cash flows. If you just apply a multiple, you'll miss the physical decay. Retiring owners often stop reinvesting years before selling. That means you inherit aging equipment, outdated management software, expiring real estate leases, and a history of insurance claims that spike premiums. When executed carefully, the upside is massive. You get an established customer base, brand presence, and immediate revenue without the multi-year struggle of building from scratch. Buying an existing business simply trades startup risk for acquisition risk. You have to audit the physical assets and future liabilities so you don't overpay for someone else's deferred problems. The modern strategy is to buy a traditional analog business and upgrade it. You add smart inventory systems, automated billing, and route optimization software to a standard service route. These upgrades cut down on travel time, reduce manual administrative hours, and drop customer churn by providing a seamless, reliable experience. Profit margins widen. Suddenly, a business that was capped by the owner's physical labor can scale across multiple local geographies. But doing this changes the nature of the job. You stop being a physical service provider and become an active systems manager. Tech stacks require constant attention. You will be troubleshooting software outages, updating payment gateways, and managing customer communication apps daily. Tech-enabled local businesses demand intense, active management. Unless you are holding strictly paper assets, true passive income and passive tax status in these spaces is an illusion. This flowchart models the primary choice every prospective buyer faces. You have to identify your main resource constraint before looking at a single business. Do you have an excess of time or an excess of capital? If time is your asset, you need to ask if you can financially survive a long period without profit while securing state licenses. If you can wait, pursue a high-moat license service. If you need immediate revenue, pivot to an unregulated niche where you can start operating tomorrow. If capital is your advantage, the deciding factor is your willingness to actively manage operational systems and staff. If you want to operate the business, acquire an existing one. If you refuse to deal with daily logistics, you belong in paper assets like REITs or real estate syndicates. Mapping your personal constraints is the only reliable way to select the right entry vehicle. Social media hype will try to sell you a one-size-fits-all dream, but your reality is dictated by the resources you actually have. If you are acquiring an existing business, don't let the promise of day-one cash flow trick you into buying based on top-line revenue multiples alone. You must aggressively audit equipment health, read every detail of the lease terms, and check historical insurance claims before you sign any paperwork. If you are looking for a true passive investment and want absolutely no material participation in daily operations, stay away from direct ownership. You should allocate your capital to public REITs or private real estate syndicates. That is how you legally and practically outsource the management. Traditional industries offer a clear path to wealth, but they come with a specific trade-off. You are choosing to exchange the volatility of the tech market for the predictable, heavy friction of daily operations.